Summer is in session at Icon Park. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 7 of the Summer Sessions podcast, a Carlton Media pre-season podcast. My name is Christian Filippo, your host. Rose Zaruki is your producer, and today we're joined by a special guest, who I think it's safe to say that everyone is hoping has a big 2024. He's recently a married man.
Yes.
He's the father of a recently turned 2-year-old, Ayla.
And
And now he's a first-time guest on the Summer Sessions podcast.
I'm surprised it's taken so long for me to get on here, to be honest. What is it? Season 2, episode...
Episode 7.
Oh,
Zac Williams.
yeah.
The personal milestones keep rolling in. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, seriously. 2024, new year, new me, as you probably can tell.
We'll get onto that.
But no, excited to be on here.
Love it, mate. Well, you know you've been briefed. We'll get straight into it.
Okay.
You reckon you've got a good one for me? Go-to karaoke song. What have you got?
So obviously... going to stick with theme.
Yeah.
And I was helped out with one of the coaches for a karaoke song, Sammy Himmel. I walked into his desk and he already had a thing up. It was of Freddie Mercury, lookalike. So I'm probably going to stick the theme and say Radio Gaga by Queen.
Like
I think
it.
I
Yeah.
think that goes. You can go pretty hard on that.
I think you can. I was going to
With,
say Bohemian
karaoke.
Rhapsody is a bit bold.
Yeah, unless you have a good voice, you probably stay away from that. I
Yeah,
think.
Radio Gaga, just work the crowd. Is that
Yeah,
your-
crowd favourite, that one, I reckon. So you probably, if you whip that out, I reckon everyone gets involved pretty quickly.
I like it.
Yeah.
We haven't had Queen too many times, so...
Have you had it?
No, I don't think we've had Queen at all for a karaoke song.
It's a bit of a change up. I'd usually go probably like a rap song or a hip hop song.
But you've gone with Queen instead.
I've gone with Queen because of the the new the look that I'm running at the moment.
Well, as I said, we're going to get onto that.
Yeah, so thought I'd stay on theme, which is pretty good.
I like it. Big question to kick things off. How are you?
I'm going good.
Yeah.
Obviously the last 12 months has been, very turbulent. I guess I would probably the way to put it. Done my knee coming up to 12 months now. Back up at Sunshine Coast. I went up there for a training camp, pre-season training camp. Had surgery, everything's going well. And then, mid-year, obviously my sister was fighting cancer pretty much the last 3 to 4 years. And then, passed away mid-year last year. So, and then on top of that, my grandma also passed away sort of during just before pre-season as well. So it's been a year to, I guess, forget. Last year, sort of rolling into the new year, like you mentioned before, newly married and happily married. Just sort of that was a great way to start off the new year, and also back into full contact training now as well. So hopefully, things keep going in a positive direction after last year. Had a pretty tough year last year, but football club's an amazing support system with how many teammates and coaching staff and even the staff around the football club were great for me last year in terms of support, phone calls when I was to and from home, visiting my sister when I needed to. It's a great support system to be here at the Carlton Football Club, and if I didn't have, I guess, everyone here within the football club, would have made things a lot tougher last year. But new year, new me, like I said, and bigger and better things that come this year, I think.
Voss is all about, I guess, the story, the individual story, the team story. Are you put 2023 behind you, use 2020 to make you stronger? Like, what's your viewpoint on it, or just put it in the past?
Definitely use it as motivation to, get better, play some great footy this year. It's when something gets taken away from you in terms of, my footy last year, I was training, I was, flying in last year's pre-season. So, when it sort of got taken away from me pretty quickly, especially watching the boys sort of, they had their struggles at the start of the year, but then come out after the bye and winning games and playing finals, I sort of very quickly started missing it and wanted to be a part of that. So, I definitely use that as motivation to get back and do what I can to help out the boys. Strive for what we want to do this year. So all the other off-field personal stuff that I got going on in terms of family stuff. There's definitely a lot of motivation to get back and play some good footy as well. My sister played a big part in getting me to where I am today. I think I've mentioned in other interviews and stuff that I've done my mum and my sister played a big part in just my life, really. My dad passed away when I was very young, so I had two strong women to sort of push me in the direction I needed to go and get me to where I'm sitting here with you today, to be honest. So, definitely that first game back, whenever it is, I'll be definitely wearing a black armband for her, and I'll probably wear it all year, to be honest, for her, and take her out with me all year. So I got a lot of motivation this year, coming from, sort of knee rehab stuff, but also personal stuff as well.
How hard was it? I remember speaking to Jack Silvani after Sergio passed away, and I think he basically put all of his energy into that Collingwood game, which I'm pretty sure you played in, just to honour him. But you didn't really have football as that release either for you. How difficult was that you're also seeing your mates play footy every week and you don't have the chance to do that when you've got so much other things going on?
Yeah, it's tough. I think a lot of boys within AFL, whether it's here at Carlton or different teams, a lot of boys use playing football as like a sort of getaway. Once they, cross over and get on the field, everything else sort of just becomes back of your mind, I guess, and you just can go out there and be free and, you have no worries. I wouldn't say no worries, but playing footy, but
less worries.
I'd say less worries,
yeah.
But I guess the focus, is just to play footy, and that's all you worry about for 2 hours. So, it was tough last year, not sort of having that. What would you call it? I guess a release. I guess where I was just in rehab. Rehab can be a pretty lonely place when you're sort of in it by yourself for a long period of time as well. So. It was tough, but at the same time, I definitely in the back end half of the year sort of went into the change rooms, made sure I was part of, with the boys in meetings, helping out the boys, whether it was, the halfbacks or what, because I'm sitting there, I can see the game from a different point of view as well. So, it was tough, but I tried to find ways to not distract myself from everything else, what was going on, but, I guess just to try and enjoy the year for what it was by doing other things, I guess.
How gratifying that you got to, put on the Carlton jumper while Sammy was still around and she was in the rooms for that first game against the Pies when you debuted in 2021.
Yeah, it was, we grew up going for Carlton. My dad was a massive Baggers supporter, so I don't know if we had a choice in the matter of going for the Baggers, but I'm glad that we did grow up going for the Blues. So, it was awesome, when all the trade happened and everything, and I made my way down here. To have her around at the time because she was fighting the battle at that time as well. So, to be able to share moments like that through the last, few years when I did play, to have her come down change rooms while, even her just putting on a Carlton scarf or Carlton colours and just being a part of it all, it was pretty special. So, but I know she's still here with me when I run out with her, when I run out to play. So, it's always pretty special when I put on the navy blue, no matter what.
Special day as well with your wedding. I've got to ask a question though. What was the bigger occasion, your wedding or Ayla's second birthday?
Oh God. Well, we're actually having the birthday party this Sunday.
There you go. So what will be bigger?
Oh God. Well, I got to dress up. So I've been told I need to dress up. It's the theme is, it's not my first rodeo, it's my second. So you can probably picture it in your mind what I need to dress up as. So Rachel's got me an outfit pretty much to wear. So I don't know if I'm too excited to wear it, to be honest.
But you've got to. You're a dad.
Well, we got a few of the boys have kids and everything. So there's going to be a few boys at the birthday party too. So I'll be definitely saying leave your phones at the front door, boys. No photos allowed. No. So but the wedding, it was 12 months in the making. By the time we got to wedding day, we were just like, oh, thank God, like we're here. Yeah. And everything went to plan. That I didn't do much planning. I was just a yes man and got told what to do with Rach, as probably most husbands do.
Yep.
But so it was a great day. Nothing sort of really went wrong, except for the, champagne tower. Yeah, so where they set it up, it was next to, so at the reception where people walk up the stairs, it was on floorboards and stuff, so it was a bit wonky. Yeah, and people walking past and it fell down. So that's probably the only thing. Yeah, I know. So, but the wedding planners fixed it up and we'd done like half a champagne now.
Real sad champagne.
Yeah, it didn't work out the way we wanted to, but to be honest, like, up until that point, we were pretty stoked with it, how everything went. Everything went pretty smoothly, and I tell you what, I was bloody nervous for my first dance, that's for sure. Rachel's a dancer.
I was going to say, a lot of pressure for you.
Rachel's an not ex ballerina, but she used to do that growing up. So she loves dancing, and I'm sitting there sweaty palms and nervous as I got to dance in. We had 160 people there, so I got to dance in front of all these people, and I know there's a camera there, so it's going to be recording. So I was like, oh god, got sweaty palms, I'm sweating, but I didn't mess up, which was good. So
you played in a grand final in front of 100,000 people. What was more nerve-wracking?
Oh, the dance for sure. Yeah, I was. I don't think I was too nervous. Excuse me, for the grand final. I think it was more sort of excitement because up until that point, over the few years we played big games in finals, like prelims and stuff like that. So to actually finally playing one, it was like, oh, I'm going to make the most of it, sort of excitement. But with the first dance.
There's only one first dance.
Yeah, there's only one, and you're just like, oh god, there's. We only practiced it like 2 weeks beforehand, so we'd made it up pretty much on the spot. So I was like, oh god, I'm just going to let Rach lead, and I'll just follow her.
Yeah.
So, but it turned out good, the dance, and it was good fun. So, and then once that was done, it was good just to be able to sit back and enjoy the wedding with some of the boys here came and just friends and family. Rach and I both live interstate, so to have all of our family here was it was pretty awesome.
How soon after the wedding finished did you commit to the mustache?
The next day. So I'm not too sure if you've seen on Rachel's social media or what was put up, but I cut her dress midway through our first dance. Yep. So we done the traditional slow and whatever, and then we stopped. And then Rach jumped up on a chair, and I got scissors brought out, and I cut her dress so she could do the fun dance after it.
Yep.
And then the next day, I woke up and I was like, oh, since I cut your dress, Rach, you can shave my beard. I said, I'm keeping the mo, though. I can't go full baby face. I'll look like I'm 12 years old. So, so she done one half, and then I got rid of the rest. Finished it off. So
you are Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, no, I think I might keep it for the year. I'd love some feedback from Carlton fans and stuff on whether I should keep it for the year or not. But but I think we got photo day next week, so it has to stay for that.
You're committing to it.
Yeah, I'll have to commit to it now. Yeah. So, but I don't mind it. It's good to having no facial hair, as much facial hair, I should say. So.
Well, there's someone who committed to the Mo a few years ago, Mitch McGovern. A little bit. He was Mitch McGovern.
A little bit,
for a little bit.
Mitch, yeah.
Do you have to be his best mate by default, considering how close your two daughters are?
Oh my, wow. When they get together, little Margot and Ayla, it's just chaos, really. Like, I think Margot's just started preschool or, daycare and stuff like that, and Ayla's about to, so, because they both just have so much energy, so we just need to put them in somewhere to go play and waste some energy. But, when they get together, they, pretty full on, to be honest, pretty full on. So, but, I think I'm just really close with Mitch because of his blonde hair at the moment. I'm loving it, little slim shady.
Well, I don't think Margot loved it from what I heard.
Yeah, I think, obviously it looked so different.
Yeah.
Probably.
Did Ayla approve of the mustache? Was that okay?
She played with my face for a little bit, and I think she was unsure about it.
Yep.
But she comes to terms with it now, so I think she's happy.
She's all good.
Yeah, I think. Well, I've got some good feedback from a few people, so.
Well, I'm a big fan, and I think a lot of people are a big fan. So let's keep it. There we go.
I'm going to keep it, for sure.
Now, a few weeks ago, tell me, were you near Rach when she got a message asking to facilitate a jacket for Robbie Williams, or not?
Oh God.
Or just in the lead up to it, how excited was she?
Yeah, so I can't remember. I don't think I was I think I was in a different room maybe when she got the text or something, because I do remember her saying, Zach, I need to tell you something. And I was like, what's going on? And she's like, they've asked me to do a bedazzled jacket for Robbie. And I was like, no way. I was like, there's no way they'd actually do that. And they're like, because of he's performing here, and, obviously all the videos he's done over when we played finals and stuff. She was pretty excited. I was pretty excited for her too. Like, I probably didn't listen to much Robbie Williams growing up. I was more, like I said, hip hop and all that side of things. But
Queen.
Exactly. Now I'm blaring Robbie in the car now after that. So it's pretty cool.
At the gym very often these days. I didn't hear it beforehand. I didn't notice it, but
all
the time.
It's all the boys love it now. Yeah. So it's pretty cool that Rach had an opportunity to do that for someone like Robbie. and by all accounts, he loved it. So, yeah, we went to his concert and everything, which was one of the best concerts I've probably been to be honest. So, shout out, Robbie, on the concert.
Give a shout out to Rachel's business as well, or just going to give a shout out to Robbie?
Yeah, Katie Birdcar was called, sorry. Yeah, the shout out to Rach and KJ Greenwood. That's the other girl that they go into, they're in business together. So it's a pretty cool little business that they got going. They do, obviously AFL merch and stuff like that. So I think they've got, since Robbie, I think they've got a few people asking them to do some stuff. So, no, it's pretty cool.
Well, Robbie was swept up in finals fever last year with Carlton. But you were too. There's some footage of you in the race. I don't know how much we've got of it. I'm going to hope we've got some saved somewhere.
Yeah, God.
You were carrying on like an absolute pork chop.
Yeah, well...
What took over you in those few weeks?
Well, to be honest, like last year, obviously I had no choice. I just turned into a fan again.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being part of the Baggers Army and, interacting with fans and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I ended up going down into the race because I was carrying on a little bit, and I didn't want to be doing that up in the stands and stuff like that. So I thought, I'll go down the race where I can, hide a bit and I can just carry on and
front centre, mate.
act. Yeah,
there's always a camera somewhere.
And then all of a sudden, there's a few cameras behind me, and I'm being filmed and carrying on. I'm like, oh God, when it popped up, I was like,
if you're a fan, I reckon you love seeing that kind of stuff.
Well, we all grew up as fans, right?
Yeah.
When we're, young blokes playing footy. So, yeah, I sort of went back into that mode, which was, obviously wasn't playing. So, and like I said, I was very excited for the boys as well. They're playing good footy, and I was nervous because I felt like I couldn't help them in that situation, or watching them play. So, yeah, I guess my emotion just got the better of me in that instance.
It was good. It's good. I think we're all the same. Fair enough.
Yeah, might have to put a camera on you this season. What do you reckon?
I wouldn't have thought so. I'm a professional these days. But your return, mate, obviously it was great to see you in the stands and celebrating and all that kind of thing, but we'd much rather see you back out there.
Yeah.
How's it all going? Kind of when are you planning on making your comeback? Do you have an eye on round 0, opening round?
Yep.
Or is it a bit further than that? Like, where are you at?
Yeah, so I've been running, I guess, like for endurance and fitness running for maybe since last October, just as the season finished, or when the boys finished up and went on their break. I made a pretty big commitment not to sort of go on holiday or go on, overseas or do anything like that. So I stayed around Melbourne for pretty much majority of my break and made sure I was in here training and, give myself the best opportunity to get back into pre-season when I needed to. But also to put myself in the best position to come back as early as possible. So whether that's round 0 or whether that's later in the year, which I don't think it will be later in the year, but I've got a few targets that I'm aiming for at the moment. So, but yeah, I've got to tick off a couple more things at the moment. I'm back into full training, sort of transitioning into full contact in certain drills and stuff like that. So, but it's good. I'm doing like all the match play and stuff at the moment, which is a good indicator that I'm on the right path for start of the year. So, yeah, to be honest, I just want to get back playing footy, whether that's in the AFL side with the boys or in the VFL side with the boys. So I'm just, I'm pretty excited just to get back and play some footy.
Now, I don't know if you know this, but out on the track last week, taking a few photos of one of the match sim drills, and you'd just come out and you were, I think, heading back towards the gym, and I was there taking photos, and I've just heard someone behind me, not realising anyone was listening to him, and there was an expletive to start with, which I obviously won't say.
You won't say,
But then it was followed up by, I love football. That was you.
Yeah.
Just talking to yourself that you're out there training and having a pretty big session out there on the track. How nice is it being back out there?
No, I love it. Yeah. Just like such a different dynamic. You go from, a season-ending injury, and then you get surgery, and you have months of just not doing anything. Like you're doing gym and cross-training that, but sometimes that just gets monotonous and you get a bit sick of it. So all the transition stuff that I've done last year in terms of gym rehab to on-field rehab to now, training with the boys, it's actually a really long process. And like I said earlier, rehab can be a pretty lonely place. And, every year there's clubs with boys that go through it. So, once you get to the point where I'm at now, you actually your gratitude to be back playing football goes to another level. yeah, I'm pretty grateful to be back in the situation I am, back outside training with the boys. I'm not training by myself no more. I'm not running laps around the boundary, watching the boys put in the work. So I'm actually out there. I'm involved with it. So yeah, like I said, I'm just excited to be back around the boys and being able to do stuff with the whole group.
Unfortunately, we do have someone going through that at the moment now.
Yes.
You've known the Silvani family for a fair while now.
Yeah, fair while now, yeah.
Speaking of Jack, after last week, I guess, what did you have to say to him and how the boys rallying around him after the unfortunate news last week?
Yeah, the boys got it. Like I said, even last year when I done mine, the boys are really good at, because they know what you're going through. You know, at some point in your career, you're dealing with niggles, injuries. So all the boys are really good at, you know, getting around you because they know how much hard work boys put in each and every week. So yeah, for me personally, with Jack, I sort of left him alone for a couple of days, and I didn't get to see him after training out. I think he took off for a scan straight away, so I didn't get to see him straight away. So I just sort of, you know, left him. I knew that he would have got messages flat out once it sort of got announced. So I just left him for the weekend, and I gave him a message on Sunday just checking in, and he was in on Monday as well. Yep. So once I saw him, gave him a big cuddle, and sort of he was asking questions about sort of process leading into his surgery and stuff like that. So, but he seems like he's in pretty good spirits at the moment, which he always is. Sauce. He's always it's pretty hard to keep the smile off his face no matter what situation he's going through. So, but yeah, obviously I went through it last year, and he's obviously got the road ahead of him to do it. So, yeah, but I've got no doubt Sauce is he works pretty hard. He grinds himself into the ground pretty hard. So, I've got no doubt that he'll come back bigger and stronger next year.
What about Alex Cincotta, mate? If there was one silver lining to you last year, it was that Alex got his opportunity, and he was also coming off a knee back when he was playing VFL, and your list spot opened up, and then he took it and was playing football for the Carlton Footy Club last year. I guess how much are you going to enjoy seeing what he could do last year on the big stage?
Yeah, well, I didn't really see too much of him play beforehand. Obviously, I was training and playing and stuff, so I didn't get to see much of him play. So didn't know too much about him. But then, once they announced that he was coming on the list, and he was a half-back, and that's why we brought him in to sort of fill in that spot, that half-back spot. I sort of gravitated to him straight away. He's a half-back.
Yep.
Love my backline boys. We look after each other pretty well. So, but to see someone, what he's gone through in his life, also with his knee recovery stuff, it was pretty. I gravitated to him pretty quickly. Even early days when he was playing in the VFL, I was trying to get to games as much as possible in the VFL and just give advice to him and help him out a bit. And then, once he finally got the call up, I was going to games, having chats with him before the games, and it was very well deserved. Every game that he played last year, and he done an awesome job last year too, coming in and playing that role he did. So it's exciting to see someone like that get an opportunity. My sort of transition into footy when I got drafted probably wasn't as smooth as when you get drafted, in the national draft. I didn't, so I guess looking at Alex's story as well coming into footy, I guess sort of reminded me of myself coming through.
Now, you do love your backline boys, as you said. You walked in 2021, and the number 6 Guernsey was free.
Yep.
Previously worn by Kate Simpson. Tell us the story of how you got that number. I think it was probably a family reason behind it as well. And then did you ask Simo for the number? Like, how did that all work? Because I reckon people might have thought it might have been maybe retired or in mothballs for a year, but it was on you in 2021.
Yeah, well, when all the whole trade stuff happened, I actually wasn't sure if Cade was playing on or, whether he was going to retire or what it was. So I wasn't really wasn't too worried about what number I was going to get.
Yeah.
I was just so bloody excited I was coming to the Blues, to be honest, and being able to wear the navy blue.
Yeah.
So
sorry, just real quick. That day when you got announced and you were wearing Carlton polo, you were wearing
everything.
Carlton.
Everything. Yeah. So who was? I think it might have been Lil. Maybe sent. Once I sort of made the commitment and said, told the club I was coming here. I think Lil might have sent out a package of just Carlton stuff for my nieces and nephews, my sister, and my family and stuff.
You put it on yourself.
We put everything on. we were decked out, our whole family. So, but the club rang me. Obviously made the announcement, Kate's retiring, everything like that, and then I didn't even think about it. And it's pretty. special, the number. My dad was a rugby player and he wore number 6. That was his position in rugby. And we love the number 6 as well, just in my family. For some reason, I can't explain it, but it just feels like a family number almost.
Just your number,
when I got the phone call that the club was thinking about potentially giving me the 6, I was like, no way. I was like, it was a really surreal moment, not only because Cade wore it, but mostly because it was a big family thing as well. So I gave Simo a call, and I was like nervous as I was so nervous to ask him, oh hey mate, like I just wanted to give you a phone call, obviously introduce myself. Hopefully I can do it in person, but the club's thinking about giving me the number 6. I just wanted to have a chat to you and make sure you're okay with it. If you're not, like I won't be offended.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If there's another one of the younger boys or something that you've had time with at the club you want to give to, happy, like whatever it is. But he's like, nah, take it, mate. Like it's your number now. So we did have a very good conversation about it. So thanks Simo for giving me that number. I love it.
Will you wear the long sleeve ever?
Oh, well, if it gets any colder in Melbourne, I might have to, I reckon. It gets freezing down here. But I've never been... I wear long sleeve in training, but I don't know how I'd go game day. I might have to maybe just in the first quarter or something like that, just to, run around and somewhat look like Simo.
Well, Sardi changes jumpers these days. He goes first half no sleeve, second half sleeves on.
Sardi walks around in a hoodie in a 30 around the club. I'm sure you've seen it. He walks around in a hoodie, and it's 30 degrees outside, and it's just like, come on, mate. Like
Sardi does what Sardi does.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. That's very true. But I might have to rock the long sleeve at one point in the near future. I reckon. So,
back to last year. I guess you mentioned you were watching on from the stands at home, wherever. I guess who did you love? Which of your teammates did you love watching last year? Because you don't really get that chance.
Yeah. Few boys, probably more so the boys now that I've been injured and long-term injury. Probably the boys that have been through long-term injuries. Cunners, I loved watching Cunners play. He's a gun. I love when he gets up and running. He's such a good player to watch. Caleb, it's good to see him finally get a good run at things. He's finally back in full training. He's pretty much done majority of pre-season, I think, as well. So. But also, like we touched on before, just Alex St. Cotter as well. Seeing someone like that get his opportunity and play some really good football. They're probably the boys that wouldn't say kept an eye on, but when they did something, I probably took a bit more notice. You know what I mean, and appreciated the way they played a bit more. So they're probably the boys that
And what about pre-season, mate? Like we love our pre-season cliches on this show about who's flying and set for more midfield time and all that kind of thing. I guess who's caught your eye out there over the last few months? Well, you've been out there, not so much.
Well, like I said, it's a bit hard when you're not in training to sort of, you do your training vision and stuff like that through the week. But now that I'm back out there and been training with the boys and back doing match play, the one for me that I sort of, because I haven't played a game with him yet, and I think he's been mentioned a lot, is Binzi.
Yep.
He
runs a lot.
Yes, he does. But the role I play as a half-back, me and him actually have a connection. Have a good connection. And, some of the things he's doing at the moment, I'm just like, oh, wow. Like, from what I've seen him in VFL, I was like, oh, yeah, he's pretty good. But now I see him out here doing some of the things he's doing, I'm like, oh, he's a serious player. You know what I mean? So he's probably one for me that just because, I've come back into match play, I'll probably have a lot of sort of communications and stuff with him in team system and stuff. Exactly. Yeah. So he saves me a bit, to be honest. He actually looks after me a fair bit. So him, I'm just trying to think. Everyone's training really well at the moment. Training standards are pretty through the roof at the moment. So another one's probably another young boy, Big Lemmy.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
Yeah,
I think he's everyone's favourite pick this summer.
And he's very so for me, I've worked on over this break, my endurance and, built my tank up a lot and so I can play sort of longer game times or whatever it may be. So, and I'd never realised how much of a good runner he is as a tall sort of forward. So, I'm really impressed by what he's producing at the moment on the track as well.
Giving the love to the two youngsters. I
know, yeah.
Now, you mentioned the great man's name, about 5 minutes ago. You knew this question was coming. David Cunningham,
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, I've been prepped for this.
podcast favourite. He'll be even more of a favourite when he finally comes on the show as a guest.
Yeah.
Maybe one day. What have you got for us? Just in case
All right.
he does join us one day.
Yeah, okay, so you guys have prepped me
Yeah.
to try and find out something.
Had you out there on the ground trying to find out some stuff about
Yeah,
it?
so I've been walking around the club probably the last 24, 48 hours, asking boys.
Desperate.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't even care what it is, just something.
Yeah.
And no one's been able to give me something. And I'm not going to say,
Yeah, that's
the
okay.
bloke under
To be
the
expected,
bus.
yeah.
Yeah, so who told me this, but apparently on his days off, he doesn't eat carbs.
Right.
So, for example, you say when's our usually day off? Thursday, maybe. Thursday, go for breakfast. He'll order, say, I don't know what he eats, but say he orders scrambled eggs. He'll just get scrambled eggs with no bread, nothing else, just scrambled eggs on the plate.
That's something. That's
Well,
more than we had previously.
but I don't know if that's a stitch up or not.
Okay.
So that could be false,
It
false
could not be
information.
true.
Yeah, it
We're not
could
sure.
be. I'm not too sure.
So
Yeah,
basically, we still don't know.
well, it's definitely we have to follow up on that.
Well, one
for
thing I
sure.
do know about Cunners is we've asked him for 2 years to come on this show, and he said no. And then this morning, will be yesterday morning, people listening, he was on RSN doing an interview with Daniel Harford. So he said no to us,
Oh God,
but happy to do external media. So
Cunners, you might have to come and say yes,
we're
mate.
We're not happy about it, but that's okay.
Yeah.
He did a great job for the media department here.
Did
but
he give anything away on the interview he done?
Not really, but he said the
really?
words razzle dazzle about Orazio Fantasia, but I just never thought I'd hear David Cunningham
come
say
out
the
of his
words
mouth.
razzle dazzle. So that was a bit
That
confronting.
is a bit of a shock.
Yeah. But we'll see how we go. I know there's a lot of demand for Cunners to be on this show.
Seriously, we need to get him on.
Season finale is what the
to.
plan is.
Yeah.
That was also the plan last year, and we couldn't get it done. So we'll see how we go.
Oh, wow. Get him on.
Now, I saw you last week on the side of the track with your good mate Motts. I feel like there was a lot of personalised handshakes a few years ago, and they've kind of disappeared. But you and him, you do have one.
Yes, we do have one. So we got one
Run us
pretty
through it.
much when he first came into the club.
Yep.
And then it's just stuck, really. Yeah.
Yep.
It's just which is a bit weird because now that I'm back doing match play, I'm playing on him.
Yep.
So if he kicks a goal, I'm not going to go give him a high five.
You're
We're
not
on
mates.
opposite teams. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I actually said to him today, I was like, because we were doing some filming for the Indigenous jumper that's coming up this year as well. So we're in there, and I was saying, and we've done a handshake. I was like, oh, we need to be on the same. I might have to go tell Vossi put us on the same team so I can run down and do the handshake once you have kicked the goal. So, but yeah, hopefully over the next few weeks, you guys can get a bit of vision on it. And
Yep.
yeah.
Run us through it. What's the background to it, I guess?
Well, the background is we just watched videos on people doing handshakes.
And you got one.
Yeah, and we just sort of got ideas from
Yeah.
watching and just put one together. And now it's a bit of
It's stuck.
it's stuck. Yeah,
Yep.
a bit of what did I say the other day? A bit of salt and pepper.
That's what I thought you said. I didn't want to run with it. Yeah.
So, but obviously, when people see it, will make a bit more sense. Have you seen it?
I saw it. Yeah.
You did see it?
I caught it late.
Oh,
Yeah.
late. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
We'll get there. We'll show it to the masses one day.
yeah. So when it happens and it's on camera, people get what it's
We'll
called.
tell Vossi to
Same team.
sort out training just so we
Yeah.
can make sure we can get the content for
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Now, I do have a bone to pick with you.
Oh God.
Carlton supporter growing up. Mm-hmm. Carlton supporter all your life. Obviously, there's a bit of GWS stuff, but Carlton supporter all your life.
Yep.
Was there a part of you that was supporting Collingwood on grand final day?
God. Yeah. There
Look,
was.
we know why.
Yes, there was.
But it's still not great.
I know. Yes, and you know what? I was thinking that because on my social media stuff, like Instagram, Facebook, whatever, I was posting stuff about Bobby.
Just Bobby.
It was just
Not Collingwood Football
No,
Club.
it was just Bobby though.
Yeah.
So.
He's your boy.
The thing is, though,
Yeah.
he was wearing Collingwood colours. So I was like,
and Noel Smith.
But don't worry. No one should stress because when we play Collingwood, if I play on him, it's the friendship goes out the door. So and he
the
knows
gloves are
that
off.
too.
Yep.
We've actually, at Giants when we played together, it was sort of what I do with Motti. I play on Mott's a lot, so they used to put me on Bobby a lot. So. There was a lot of just friendship goes out the door very quickly when you're competing and stuff like that. So don't worry, guys. I'm not a Pie supporter. I was a Bobby supporter and a
day.
Bobby fan during the grand final, and stoked that he got a flag and won the Norm Smith, which is unbelievable.
Yeah.
That he's done that. So, But yeah, I'll definitely be making his life difficult when we when we play him.
That's good to know. It's reassuring. Well done.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go back to the Carlton supporting stuff. We mentioned
Yep.
Nick Newman a few weeks ago. Been a few breakfasts with past players over the last few weeks with whether it's 70s Premiership players, 80s Premiership players, those from the 2000s and 2010s coming through. Does the Carlton supporter in you come out a little bit when you see someone like a Chris Judd walking through the doors and just having breakfast with the boys? Or?
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. So I've actually caught up for lunch with Juddy before. In the city, and like on the way there, I was just like, I just need to relax a bit. Like, the supporter in me, the fan in me was coming out, but all those past players are all just normal human beings. You know what I mean? So when you finally sit down and meet them, they're all just casual. They've been through system before, so they know what it's about. So, but the one crazy one was Andrew Walker.
Yeah.
So that's when I started transitioning into playing AFL. When Walks, when he was a young bloke playing for the club and stuff like that. Yeah, taking hangers and so he was one of my favourite players growing up through high school and stuff. And then when I come here, like we have our mentor groups with our little groups and stuff, and he was our mentor. And when they sent the message through, I was like, no way. I was like, holy shit. Like, this is crazy. And then he come to Melbourne from Echuca, where he lives, and caught up with all of us boys, and we had breakfast with him. And that was a pretty surreal moment, meeting him and all that kind of stuff. So I could actually keep in touch with him a little bit and go back and forth with messages with him too, and hopefully at some point go down and watch him play in Echuca. I've been down to a few games already. So my old ex-teammate from the Giants, Sam Reid, he plays there too with Walk. So I think they won the flag this year as well, which is pretty cool.
So you head down and see your mate and also see your favourite player.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm not too sure. I haven't seen any videos of Walks taking any hangers in that league.
Not sure if he can get up anymore.
So not too sure if he can jump that high anymore. But so it is pretty surreal when you meet people like that.
Well, Newey mentioned it was kind of a Vossi initiative of bringing this in. Is he just doing that so he can meet all of his favourite players from years gone by when he was a Carlton supporter?
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
It actually sounds like
it's fair flex.
Oh, 100%. When you're Michael Voss, I think you can pretty much do whatever you want.
Yeah.
They go to football, and, he's doing a pretty good job coaching now. So,
And he's Tom Brady's best mate.
And Robbie Williams as well. So
I think Tom DeConing thinks he's Robbie's best mate, but
I don't think that. I reckon Vossi might have something to say about it. I think him and Robbie are pretty close. So I think when you're Vossi, I think past players are pretty keen to come in and meet Vossi as well, to be honest,
and he wants to meet them
and meets the boys. So, but it's pretty cool initiative that Vossi's got going with all the past players.
While we're on the topic, your 3-2-1 favourite Carlton footballers of all time.
So one's my favourite.
Go 1 vote, 2 votes, 3 votes. So
3 votes is my favourite.
Yeah,
okay,
I think it's
so
Brownlow medal or not.
Yeah, Brownlow votes. So okay. Oh God, you really God. I think I'll give my 3 votes
first.
No, I'll give him last.
Okay, cool.
All right. So
nice. Build suspense.
One vote I'll probably have to give to. I'm trying to. It's hard because, like I said, I love me backline boys, but all me.
Stephen Silvani, Bruce Stool.
Yeah. Far out. Okay, so 1 I'm going to give to Fev.
Yep.
2
famous backline boy Brendan Favola.
I don't know how much he enjoyed his time down there.
He played one game there and never went there again. I'll give him the one vote. 2 votes, I think I'm going to have to give the Walks. Yep.
Like you said, some of the stuff that he done when in his playing career was just remarkable. And then I think it'll be pretty obvious my 3. I reckon my 3 has to be Eddie Betts. Yeah. So, not too sure if you guys have heard the story about when I was growing up and I used to kick the football in the backyard by myself.
But please go for it. It's a great story.
Have we mentioned
I'm not sure
this
if we have.
before?
I'm not sure.
No?
I've heard it, but I'm not sure if we mentioned it before. So go for it.
So I think my mum, I think you guys had a chat to my mum about the whole trade stuff and going on and me coming here. I think she might have mentioned, there was one day we used to have these in our front yard like trees and they look like goalposts. So obviously dribbling kicks through there and stuff and. as any kid, you sort of imagine yourself playing with your favourite players. And one day I was out the front and just having to muck around and kick around by myself, and I grabbed the footy and I was like, oh, Eddie Betts is like, I'm stepping and stuff, and I was like pretending to handball it, and I was like, gives it to Zac Williams, and I like kicked the goal, and I was running around cheering and stuff like that. So I've had a few moments like that growing up as a little kid, pretending I was playing football with Eddie Betts. So, and obviously I've got a good relationship with Eddie now. So, you'd have to definitely take my three votes.
And played with him for a year as well.
Yeah, which was pretty surreal, to be honest. That was crazy. Obviously, at that time, Eddie wasn't sure if he was that year when I came in, he wasn't sure whether he was going to play that year or not. So, I'm pretty. I was pretty privileged that he chose to stay on for an extra year, and I got the opportunity to sort of just hang around him like a bad smell for 12 months. So, I
think I think Vince Ruggiero wrote an article with that story. So if anyone can find it, it's a great piece about that piece of you running around the backyard.
Yeah. So it must have been just in online or something like that, maybe. Yeah.
Now we'll sign off for the podcast. Thanks for joining us, by the way. It's been great having you on
me.
Here. We'll sign off with one last question, how we sign off all the time. Why do you play football, Zac?
Why do I play football?
It's deep. It's real deep. We've had the fun. Now it goes deep.
I think it's pretty, self-explanatory with me. Obviously, the last 12 months I've had a lot go on with my personal life, my family life. And growing up, like I said, I wouldn't be playing football if it wasn't for my mum and my sister. So I definitely play football for my family, but now I've got a family of my own as well. Yeah. So the meaning of playing footy for my family has gone to a whole nother level with me having my own family, starting my own family now. So that definitely plays a big part, but also just I love it. I love footy. It's what I want to do. So, and obviously last year got taken away from me as well. So with my injury, so my family is a big reason why, but also just I love coming into Carlton Football Club and putting on a navy blue and just love playing footy. So those two things, I think, probably the two things that I'd say.
That's a great way to sign off, I reckon.
Perfect.
New year, new you.
2024, my year.
Good on you, Zachy.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me.